The more research I did, the more I realized this probably wasn't a hoax, but probably a cover up. So, our next relic or artifact that we've found is one called the Dropa Stones or the Dropa discs. Have you ever heard of those guys, Jules?
Maybe if I see a picture of it, yeah.
Okay, so I'll give you a little overview and it might kind of jog your memory. And then Jules is going to read something for me because she's amazing and my throat hurts. So let's talk about one of the strangest archaeological rabbit holes out there. This really is. It goes way weird. So the Dropa Stones and the remote mountains of the Bayan Kara Ula, sitting on the edge of Tibet in China, basically they were discovered in one of these caves up there. So the story kicks off in 1938 when a Chinese expedition led by archaeologist Chi Pu Tai reportedly stumbled upon a series of ancient caves tucked into the Bayan Kara Ula range. Inside, they didn't just find the usual bones and the crude wall art. According to the account, they discovered something wildly out of place. Hundreds of neatly arranged tiny skeletons, each around 4 foot tall, with disproportionately large skulls. Embedded in the cave floors were peculiar stone discs. They were around about 30 centimeters or 12 inches wide, with a hole drilled dead center. Basically, they resembled like these prehistoric records, like a record that you'd put on. The surfaces were etched with fine grooves spiraling out from the middle, and then with closer inspection, suggested they actually were some form of like microscopic writing. These would become known as the Dropa Stones or the Dropa discs. Tied forever to one of the strangest archaeological mysteries or hoaxes of the 20th century. The more research I did, the more I realized this probably wasn't a hoax, but probably a cover up. The story goes that later, in a few years later in 1962, so originally they were found in 1938, and then in 1962, Chinese professor Tsum Nui from Beijing supposedly, now this is where it gets a little bit questionable, managed to decode the discs. His translation, a bombshell narrative about an alien craft that crash landed in the mountains around 12,000 years ago, carrying beings from a place called Dropa, Dropa, who were stranded on Earth and never made it home.